Welcome back to Election Connection. I am your host, Evelyn, and we are here for a special episode about no party preference voting, also known as NPP voting. Joining me today is our distinguished guest from our Bay Area County, Contra Costa, Kristin Connelly, the County Clerk, Registrar of Voters. Thank you for joining us, Kristin.
Well, thank you, Evelyn, for having me. I'm excited to be talking about the importance of NPP voting in the upcoming presidential primary on March 5th.
Awesome. I mean, NPP voting can be a little tricky, and I know that you're fairly new to elections, but do you think you can tell our curious listeners about what no party preference voting is?
Well, let me give it a shot, Evelyn. Some political parties allow no party preference voters to participate in their primaries. They make a decision about that every election cycle. And so this year, there's 3 political parties that will allow NPP voters to participate in their primaries.
So it's like being at an ice cream shop. Let's say I go to Baskin-Robbins, but I want a Ben & Jerry's flavor.
Well, I like to talk about ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream? But actually, it's as if you're a no party preference voter in a presidential primary, it's like you show up to an ice cream shop and you actually can't get ice cream. But if you tell us as election officials that you want to participate, then it's like showing up at Baskin-Robbins and being able to order Ben & Jerry's.
Oh, okay. That makes better sense.
I'm happy to explain it a little bit.
I know. Can you just explain for no party preference voters in March?
Yeah.
What are the parties that are even allowing them to pick the other flavor?
Yeah. So there's 3 parties that are allowing this so-called crossover voting. So that's the Democratic Party, the American Independent Party, and the Libertarian Party. So all 3 of those parties will allow NPP voters to select from their candidate list. But they have to let the elections office know that they want to have that ballot. They need to request a crossover ballot for one of those parties.
Got it. Okay. I think that's clear with those parties.
Okay.
So, do you need to re-register to vote?
No. For those 3, you don't. But if you want to vote for something other than those 3 parties, so for example, if you want to participate in the Republican primary, the Peace and Freedom primary, or the Green Party primary, then you do have to re-register.
Okay.
For one of those parties.
When do I have to re-register by?
By February 20th.
Okay.
That's the important day you need to remember in terms of being able to get the ballot that you want.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So there's 3 parties that are allowing no party preference voters to vote in their primary?
Yeah.
And then there's 3 that you have to re-register to vote in that party in order to vote in that primary.
Exactly.
Okay. What if I am a no party preference voter and I don't want any of the 6 qualified parties? I don't want to choose any of those presidential candidates, and I'm a no party preference voter. Can I still vote?
Absolutely. And in fact, we're going to mail you a ballot. So you don't have to do anything except fill out that ballot and make sure that you have it postmarked by election day, by March 5th. And your vote will count for all those other offices. There's lots of important local measures and local county and state offices that will be on those ballots. So I would encourage everybody, all NPP voters, to vote, even if they don't want to participate in the presidential primary.
Okay, so to recap, everybody will get a ballot.
Yep.
If you're American Independent, Democrat, or Libertarian.
Exactly.
You have to request a ballot.
You request the crossover ballot.
Okay,
exactly.
You're requesting the crossover. If you're Green, Republican, or Peace and Freedom, you have to re-register to vote by February 20th.
Well, let me just correct you on that one quickly. Okay. If you're a no party preference voter and you want to participate in the Green, the Peace and Freedom, or the Republican primaries, then you have to re-register by February 20th.
Okay.
In order to participate in either of those 3 parties.
Okay, awesome. So, and then if you're no party preference voter, you'll still get a ballot. You don't have to do anything.
Absolutely.
Unless you want to choose those. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the scoop on NPP, right? For Santa Clara and Contra Costa. Do you have any advice for any of our voters, especially the no party preference voters?
Sure. Well, certainly stay curious, ask questions. We're going to send you a voter guide. There's, when we send you elections mail, pay attention to it, right? So I know our postcard went out to our NPP voters this week. So look for that. And that gives you all the different ways that you can let us know if you want a crossover ballot. It also provides the link to the Secretary of State's website where you can re-register again before February 20th if you want to participate in the Republican, the Peace and Freedom, or the Green Party. So yeah, but stay curious, ask questions, and be sure to vote.
I have a question.
Sure.
Since you said ask questions, what is this postcard you're talking about?
Sure. So the postcard, we have a postcard that we're sending that we're required to send to no party preference voters so that they know what they need to do in order to participate in the presidential primaries. And so it's real simple. It's two-sided, and it gives you all the information you need to, if you want to check a box to be a crossover voter, you can do that, or you can re-register for the Republican, the Peace and Freedom, or the Green Party by February 20th.
That's awesome. And they can ask, all of the counties across California are sending the postcard.
Yep.
If you're in Santa Clara County, we have over 200,000 no party preference voters. So they're all getting the postcard, and they're going to send it back and tell us what they want to choose to do. It makes a difference. Voting matters, right? In our county, 55% of our voters voted in the gubernatorial primary election. With over 1 million voters, that means 55% of our voters decided for everyone. Everyone. So your vote matters on president, like you said.
Yeah.
All the measures, all of the local candidates, all the state assembly, Congress, federal candidates. Yep. It matters, right?
Yeah. No, that's such an important perspective because when people don't vote, they can't express their opinion. And so then only a smaller proportion of folks makes the decisions for everybody. So great point.
All right. So where can a no party preference voter go to request their information?
Sure. They can check out our website, bayareavotes.org, which has all the lists of which will have all the information for all of the counties in the Bay Area that participate in our Bay Area Votes Coalition. And that way you can let us know, because you can request, again, NPP voters, you can request your crossover ballots by fax, if you still have that. You could by email or in person, or you can mail that postcard back, and the postage is paid.
Speaking of ballot, when are the ballots going out?
The ballots are going out on February 5th. So look for those, right? In election speak, we make sure that those ballots are available to our voters at E-29. So 29 days before Election Day. So look for those in your ballots starting February. We're going to be mailing those out February 5th for the March 5th election.
Okay. So I know in California there are 6 qualified political parties, right? American Independent, Green, Libertarian, Peace and Freedom, Democratic, and Republican. Can you explain to our listeners the difference between American Independent and being a no party preference voter?
Sure. That's an important question. So NPP, right? When someone is an NPP voter, they are saying that they do not have a preference for being a part of a political party. They are not a part of a political party as an NPP voter. If you're registered with the American Independent Party, you are registered with a party that has an ideology, a platform, and candidates that believe certain things. And so I would encourage people to do the research. If you find yourself that you're registered as an American Independent Party member, you can follow that information and figure out what that means. But if you are an NPP voter, you are not a member of a political party. And unfortunately, there are some people who think of themselves as politically independent, right? Small I. And they find themselves registering with the American Independent Party and are surprised by what that means. So you need to check that out. But American Independent Party is a qualified political party in California. When you're an NPP voter, you are not a member of a political party.
Awesome. So there's 6 political parties, and you can also be a no party preference voter.
Exactly.
So actually 7 different things happening, but I think that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. My pleasure.
Thank you, Kristin, for joining us all the way from Contra Costa County. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on all our social media accounts. And don't forget, we want to make sure that you remember to elect to connect. That was good. Early voting begins on February 5th for the March 5th, 2024 presidential primary election. Vote-by-mail ballots will be mailed out to all active registered voters. You can return your ballot at the Registrar Voter's Office, by mail, or at an official drop box. You can also drop off your ballot or vote in person at any of the over 100 vote centers between February 24th and March 5th. For more information, go to sccvote.org or call 408-299-VOTE. You have one vote. Make it count.